One. All right, here we go. Back in the call. All right.
1,000 limits, 25,000 for property damage. Let's see here.
So there, that was.
So in case you were in an accident, to say that I didn't like that. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah. Okay. I see here. Let me see. So currently with Progressive, it looks like you have the 50,000, 100,000 limits, 25,000 for property damage.
All right, so let's pull her up. What's her name? It's Deborah what?
Porter, I believe.
All right, so guess how much it's going to be to increase that coverage? The 25,000. All right, so we're at $96.98 a month, about what she's paying.
Okay.
Just to increase, double it, right? $97.77.
Not even a dollar.
Not even a whole dollar. Maybe $1.10. And then if we went to 100,000, we were at 97.77. It was at 96 something. 98 and a quarter. 98.28. We would go with 100,000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How big of a difference is it now? You tripled her coverage.
I tripled the coverage for what? Not even $2.
Yep. She doesn't know. She has no idea because you've not delivered your price yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could probably get mine a little cheaper than what you're paying now, but at the end of the day, I want to protect your assets. I want to protect you in the event of a car crash.
Okay. Let's see here. So in case you were in an accident and you were at fault, the 50,000, 100,000, basically what that means is we would pay up to $50,000 per person and for bodily injury. So that would include anything like ambulance, medical bills, lost wages, anything like that. And then it would pay out to $100,000 for the occurrence. So say, there were about 3 cars involved, 3 people.
You're getting that, you're like, all right, I'm going to kind of explain a scenario, but I'm not.
It would pay up to $100,000 for all 3 vehicles, for all 3 people.
No, you're actually doing this exactly what I would do. I would explain their limits, and then right when you get to the bottom, right when you get to the item you don't like, you explain it, you explain you don't like it, and then you give your scenario. Let me tell you about something that happened to our agency a few years back. Right. Somebody was driving down the highway, blah, blah, blah. Pick the highway that's closest to them, 270, 64, 170, 270, 70. Pick one, whatever one you want. Multiple car crash, our insured was at fault, blah, blah, blah. Bam. You've built need. You've built trust. You've built everything there is to build. Now, all you literally got to do, after you explain these things, you deliver the price, you can literally have a closing statement, and they're going to buy from you. 100%. 100%.
Let's see here. And are you comfortable with those limits, or?
Yeah, I guess I felt awkward. I didn't know, she's not saying anything.
It's okay. Remember, we lead. We lead. People want to be led.
People feeling comfortable. I start to feel uncomfortable. I'm like,
It's okay. Remember, you know more than they do. There's no need to get uncomfortable in this situation. But you just don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You're ironing out what to say. Okay, we're going to fix it.
Yeah. Okay, not a problem. I always like to ask, we do have scenarios where there's large payouts.
Like right here, you're like, man, I should have gave a scenario. You're trying to get into doing a scenario, but they already said they don't think they need more coverage, but they don't know they need more.
Yeah, and I guess if I would have bumped it up, well, I don't know. I guess if I would have bumped it up, and she said that she was comfortable, kind of just like a.
Well, first off, we haven't even explained our scenario.
Yeah.
So what is this scenario?
I should have explained the scenario. They told her limits and.
But you haven't do the math, right? So she's got $25,000 in bodily property damage coverage. You explain the scenario because you're selling it at $100,000.
Yeah.
You explain the scenario at $100,000. Right at $100,000 ended up being paid out. If that same crash happened today to you, how much would you be left on the hook for?
Yeah.
$75,000. I don't know about you, but I ain't got that kind of money laying around. That's a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's bad, right? Oh yeah, that is bad. That's real bad. Yeah. Well, I'm going to recommend $100,000 in coverage, and then you keep going.
I always like to.
Because now, you've literally revealed the cut. gave the Band-Aid. They're ready to move on.
Right.
Double check with people and see if they know what they have and if they like what they currently have. Okay, let me see here. So I'll just go ahead and quote apples to apples with the 50,000, 100,000.
You don't quote apples to apples anymore. Throw the apples to apples out the window.
All right.
Especially when you get past a minute and a half.
I guess at that point I was just like, she was comfortable with those coverages.
But she doesn't know.
She's
just ignorant. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
Is she stupid? No, she just doesn't know. So she's not incompetent because she hasn't had it explained.
Okay.
Once we explain it to them and we educate somebody how important it is and how vulnerable they actually are, once we do that, then people are like, okay, I got to fix that.
Yeah.
You know, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And coverage, 25,000 for property damage. And then what
She
kind of
likes it.
deductible amounts do you usually go with?
I don't know.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. I'll put it at
So
500.
think about it. She doesn't know anything. That's a great thing for you.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know your deductible? If you got a $5,000 deductible for your car, would you be mad? You know, ask these questions to them. Like, joke with them, play with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, what do you don't know your deductible? So you're telling me if a tree fell on your car, you could pay $5,000? You could pay $1,000? You have no idea. Wow, that's so concerning. You hate hearing agents not explaining these types of coverages that are so important to somebody, especially at a time of loss. You know what I mean? And this is just building need through the entire conversation, making you look like the shiny knight in armor, and the other person's garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
That's usually standard what people go with. The higher the deductible, the lower your premium every month. Vice versa, the lower your deductible, the higher the premium you pay monthly. And let's see here. So it's 50,000, 100,000 limits, $500 deductibles on both comprehensive and collision. We're coming in roughly about $97 a month. How does that compare to what you're currently being charged?
I think it's about the same.
About the same.
Actually.
Maybe still uncomfortable
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
I
no,
was just
she's laughing because
Insane, probably.
no. She's laughing because she liked you. She's buying into what you were saying. She was hoping it'd be a lesser product, a lesser price.
Okay.
But because it's the same, there's no value. There's no benefit to her to switch.
Right.
And she's like,
And if I would have bumped it up and we were the same, I would have been like, oh, well, we are giving you double coverage on property.
Yeah, but you know what? We tripled your coverage. We have you in a good spot right now. Is that the kind of coverage you're looking for? Yes. Yes,
You
Sejla.
make it so easy. And even I'm like, oh my God, I can't even say like Chris.
Well, it takes a little bit, to get there. All right. We're done here. Let's go ahead and role play.
Okay.
You ready?
Cool. All right.
Do you want to be the customer or the salesperson?
I'll be the salesperson. I feel like I need to practice on that. Blah, blah, blah. We verified your information. Okay. And what are your current liability limits, Chris?
I think I have $500 deductibles. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I was asking about your bodily injury limits. These are the limits that would protect you in case of an accident if you were at fault. So we would pay out to the medical bills, lost wages, or anything like that to the person. If it's 50,000, 100,000.
No, stop. You're over-explaining.
Over-explaining.
Yep. So do it again.
Okay. And what are your current liability limits, Chris?
I think I have $500 deductibles.
Okay. I was actually wondering what your bodily injury limits are. The limits that would protect you in case
of a car crash.
In case of a car crash.
Just stop right there.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know.
Okay. Well.
Not okay.
No,
really?
Okay, so you say not okay again.
Not okay. Ready?
Yeah, I guess I just don't know how to transition into.
It's okay.
Okay. Let's just start.
Just do it.
Okay. So what are your current liability limits, Chris?
I think I have $500 deductibles.
Okay, I was actually asking about your bodily injury limits in case you were in a car crash.
Bodily injury limits. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, Chris. Well, that's not okay.
It's okay.
Okay. That is a little concerning to hear. These limits are used to protect you in case of a car accident that you're at fault for. When was the last time you actually spoke to your agent about that or had someone discuss it?
I don't know. It's been a while.
Whoa, okay, well.
Perfect. Nope, you're good. You got a good vibe going. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, don't you worry about that. We're going to go ahead and get that fixed. The reason why that's important is there might be gaps or holes in your coverage that you might not be aware of. So let me go ahead and start by seeing what you currently have.
Okay. Let's start from the top.
Let's do it. Yep.
Okay. And what are your current liability limits, Chris?
I think I have like $500 deductibles.
Oh, okay. I was asking about the bodily injury limits in case you were in a car crash.
I think I have coverage. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that is a little bit concerning to hear. When was the last time you had your agent speak to you about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Last time I got insurance, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? No worries. We're going to go ahead and fix that today. You might have some gaps and some holes in your coverages that you might not be aware of, and we're definitely going to go ahead and fix that today.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
What's the next thing?
Transition into. I'm transitioning to seeing what they have and explaining why I don't like it.
Yep.
Okay.
So do it.
So I see here that you're currently with Progressive, and that you have the 50,000, 100,000 limit. 5,100, 50,000. How do you say 5,100, 50
So
limit?
all right. So it looks like I pulled up your coverage with Progressive, and you're loading in right at 50,000, 100,000, 25,000. So let me explain what that means.
Okay.
So you have $50,000 in bodily injury per person, $100,000 for the entire car crash, and only $25,000 in property damage. And I'll tell you right now, I don't really like this coverage, and I'll tell you why. So a few years back, we had a claim that came through our agency to where somebody was going down the highway. You know the scenario. I've told it to you 100 times.
Yes.
So you explain that, and then so in this instance, they ended up having $75,000 in property damage. Okay. If you only had $25,000 in property damage, how much would you be left on the hook for?
Okay.
And you have them do the math to the best of their ability till it becomes kind of awkward. Yeah, so that's over $50,000 that you would be left on the hook for. I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of money. So I'm not recommending the coverage you have now. I'm actually going to recommend that coverage at $100,000. Okay. So you'll have $50,000 in bodily injury per person, $100,000 for the entire accident, and $100,000 in property damage.
Okay.
So how much are they charging you over there with those current limits? Man, they're just going to tell you. At this point, they're concerned.
Okay.
They're just going to shoot out the price to you.
Okay.
All right.
Let's start from the top.
Let's do it.
Okay. And what are your current liability limits?
I don't know. I guess state minimum. I have no idea.
Okay. That is a little bit concerning to hear, to be honest with you. These are limits that would protect you in case of an accident. When was the last time you actually spoke to your agent about this?
Well, I've been with my agent a couple of years ago. It's been a while.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that he's not doing his due diligence and helping you with that. But no worries, I'm going to fix that for you here today. You might have some gaps and some holes in your coverages that you might not be well aware of. So I'm going to see here what you currently have. So I see that you have Progressive and you have the 50,000, 100,000, 25,000 limits. What the 50, 100,000 is your bodily injury. We would pay out to 50,000 per person, 100,000 occurrence, blah, blah, blah. 25,000 for the property damage. And the reason I
just jump right in. I don't like that coverage.
And to be honest with you, I don't really like the 25,000 on the property damage for the limits because nowadays we have newer vehicles on the road. One might be about 10 grand to fix, the next might be 15, and it adds up quickly. These newer cars have a bunch of new things going on with them.
Slow down a little bit.
Okay. So what I recommend is bumping this up to 100,000.
Stop.
I didn't paint the scenario.
Correct. And it's imperative that you paint the scenario because they don't understand why. Until you paint that scenario, they just think you want to charge them more for insurance.
So I should do I see here they have the 50, 100, 25, and I don't like this
so I see that you have 50,000, 100,000, 25,000. Let me explain what those coverages mean. I explain the coverage.
You were in an accident.
Yep. In the event of a car crash, we'll pay $50,000 per person in bodily injury, $100,000 for the entire accident, and $25,000 in property damage. I don't like that coverage, and I'll tell you why. A few years back, I'm literally going word for word.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know why I'm not memorizing it.
It's okay. It's all right. We're going to get it.
All right. Okay, so yeah, okay, no worries. We're gonna fix that for you today. I see here that you're currently with Progressive, and that you have the 50,000, 100,000, 25,000 limits. What the 50,000 and 100,000 would protect you against is, oh.
It's okay. You're just nervous right now.
I am.
Just keep going.
Okay. What the 50,000, 100,000 means in an accident,
What does it mean, Sejla?
I know what it means. I just don't know why I'm being stupid. Really, sometimes I feel like I don't even know how to talk. I'm like, why isn't that coming out the way I want it to?
You're doing fine. You're doing
Okay,
fine.
so no worries. We're gonna fix that for you today. Okay, so I see here that you have the 50,000, 100,000, 25,000 limits. The 50,000, 100,000 would protect you for medical costs for another person, lost wages, anything like that. It would
50,000 per person. Slow down
okay.
and break it down. Bodily injury is broken down. Well, split limits are broken down to 3 coverages: individual, car crash, damages to property.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about it like that. So the first number, 50,000. So we're going to pay out $50,000 in bodily injury per person.
Okay.
We're going to pay $100,000 in bodily injury for the entire accident, and we're going to cover $25,000 for the car crash damages.
Yeah, I need to stop trying to explain it so much. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
you're going really far in depth, and there's no
need
need to. Yeah, if you say,
I guess.
well, I've been doing this a pretty decent amount of time, and I've never had any. Well, what does that mean per person?
Okay.
And you might get it, and that's fine. And you just explain. So that covers all the medical expenses to the ER, X-rays, therapies, things like that.
Okay. Okay. So no worries. We're gonna fix that today. I see here that you currently have Progressive, and that you have the 50,000, 100,000, 25,000 limits. 50,000 would pay out the 50,000 would pay out bodily injuries for one person
Per person.
Per person. The 100,000 would pay out for the entire occurrence for bodily injuries, and then the 25,000 would protect you against property damage. The reason I don't like the $25,000 limit is there's all these new vehicles out on the road.
Scenario.
Oh, okay. Yep, you're right. 25,000 will protect you against the property damage. And
the reason I don't like this coverage.
The reason why I don't like it, then the scenario.
The reason I don't like this coverage is we had a claim come through our agency a few years ago.
Then do the scenario. I think I was trying to kind of, I don't know what I was trying to do.
I think you were inadvertently skipping the scenario.
Okay.
I don't think you were meaning to skip the scenario, but you were.
Okay, so then I would just say, okay, then the 25,000 would protect you for property damage caused. And the reason why I don't like this.
Just say I don't like that.
Yeah, and the reason I don't like that coverage, to be honest with you, is there's a bunch of new vehicles out on the road.
Nope. Just skip right into the scenario.
Okay.
Stop talking about new vehicles. Stop talking about all of that. None of that's important because you're about to illustrate a scenario.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, and then the property damage is at 25,000. And the reason I don't like that coverage is because a few years ago we had a client here that was in a pile up on 270, and unfortunately he was at fault for about 4 cars for the damages, and it paid out about $103,000. I guess not. I shouldn't do something.
Okay.
97,000.
75,000.
Whatever.
Make the number easy to where you can do the math.
Yeah. So and we paid out about 75,000. Luckily, our insured had higher limits, but if he had your limit, how much? I guess then.
It's okay. You're doing
How
perfect.
would I say that then?
The way you say that is, had the customer had the limits that you currently have, they would have been on the hook for the difference of 25,000. And like I said, the claim cost about 75 grand. If that were your situation, you'd be left on the hook for the difference. How much is that?
Okay, so
you can pitch it however you want to, but you have been thinking about the price.
I just don't want them to feel like, I guess in the way that I would have been like, okay, had he had your limits, what would he be on the hook? I guess, but
he would be.
I know, but I just don't know I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable saying that to people. Does that make sense?
It does, but that's because you haven't watched the videos. Watch the videos. Okay. Watch the videos that push you because they help with all of that.
Okay. So I would paint the picture, blah, blah, blah. The reason
after you paint the picture, they're no longer sold on price.
Yeah, they're like, what really the hell do I have? Yeah.
Yeah, they're really not. They're like, oh my God, I would have been left on the hook for 50 grand. Holy cow. And then that's when you hit the closing statement. That's your aha moment. Your holy mackerel. Okay, I got a problem I didn't even know I had. And then that's simply, so you'd be left on the hook for $50,000. I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of money laying around. Oh, I don't either. Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get this fixed. So I'm going to recommend 50,000, 100,000, 100,000. And like I said, that's going to provide you the kind of protections and provisions that I explained in what happened with our insurance several years ago. So right now we're coming in at $98.28. Well, actually, no, I don't want you to do that. So with the coverages you currently have, what are they charging you at Allstate or Progressive?
Okay.
They tell you. Okay. Well, right now we tripled your coverage, and we're coming in at $98.28 a month. Is that the kind of coverage you're looking for? Shut up and let them answer. Don't talk. Let them get it out.
Like, shut up.
I know. Salespeople talk. Salespeople talk.
Okay, can we do it one more time?
We can do it. We can do it 10 more times till you get it perfect. I don't care.
All right. Okay. So, what are your current liability limits?
Liability limits. Yeah, I have $500 deductibles.
Okay. I was actually asking about, the bodily injury limits. If you're at fault in an accident, what we pay out to, or
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. To be honest, it's a little bit concerning to hear because these limits are used to protect you in case of an accident that you're at fault for. When was the last time your agent actually spoke to you about that?
I guess it's probably been a while. Last time I got insurance, a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, no worries. Sorry. No worries. I'm going to fix that for you today. You might have some gaps or some holes in your coverages that you aren't well aware of. So let's go ahead and see what you currently have.
Okay.
Just move into it like that.
Yep.
Okay. So I see here that you're currently insured with Progressive, and that you have the 50,000, 100,000, 25,000 limits. The 50,000 would pay out for bodily injuries per person. 100,000 would pay out for the entire accident and bodily injuries, and then the 25,000 would pay out for the property damages. I don't necessarily like the 25,000 limit for the property damage because a few years back we had a pile up here. One of our insurers was in
multi-vehicle accident.
One of our insurers was in a pile up on 270, and he was at fault for about 4 vehicles.
Keep going.
I feel like I need to figure out a story to say. I don't even know what to say sometimes. Okay.
That's perfectly fine. Make a scenario. You are creative enough to come up with a scenario. I know it.
Okay.
So build you a scenario and stick to it. Stick to it every single time, but use it to your benefit. You'll have the scenario so memorized, it'll come off your tongue and it'll be super easy.
Yeah. Okay, and I don't necessarily like the 25,000 for the property damage because we actually had an insured a while back
have a claim come through.
He was at fault for about 4 vehicles, and it ended up paying about $75,000. Luckily, our insured had higher limits, and he was covered. But had he had your liability limits today, he would have been on the hook for about $50,000. Should I say it? Should I ask them? Should I?
At this point,
if
you're just going through it, I don't care if you say it or you ask them.
Okay.
We just got to get through this. We got to get through this portion of delivery, and that'll help you out.
So is it good to just be like, had our insurer had your limit?
Yeah.
He would have been on the hook for about $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah. So I mean, with that being said, you can receive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. So had our insurer had your limits, he would have been out of pocket about $50,000 for
But that's
for
exact
property damage. Yeah. And okay.
So
at this point, then I'm going to go into recommending.
No. Now we're going to pull. So with your current coverages that you have right now over Progressive, what are they charging you for those?
Okay, so have the customer had your limits, and then we're going to add what? So with your current coverages.
Yeah, with your coverages right now, what are they charging you at Progressive? Because at this point, they're offended.
Right.
They're mad at Progressive. They're charging, Sejla, they're charging me $96.
Oh, no.
That's it.
All right, what's your coverage now? Okay. I'm going to have to rewrite my notes.
All right.
I am a pen and paper person. That's funny that you
have been since the moment I've met you.
I am. I write things down or it's not going through. Okay, let's go from the top. Well, actually, I guess how did we end there? So had he had your limits, he would have been on the hook for $50,000. So
I don't know about you.
With your current coverage, with your With what you currently have at Progressive, what are they charging you, I guess?
Yeah, perfect. I think let me look. $96.57 a month.
Okay. Well, and then how would it transition to that?
Okay, well, you know what? Good news. We're coming in right at $98.28 a month, but we tripled your coverage.
Okay, so I just do it. I don't tell them really.
Yep, yep. And okay. I have you quoting at $500 deductibles. I tripled that property damage coverage for you. So if that exact situation is to happen to you, you're not left on the hook. And that's the kind of coverage you're looking for.
Okay, from the top. Here we go. Okay, and what are your current liability limits?
Liability limits. You know, I don't know. $500?
I'm actually going to ask about your bodily injury limits.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. Let's see here. That is a bit.
It's all right.
Okay, well, that is a bit concerning to hear, Chris, because these limits are used to protect you in case of an accident that you're at fault for. When was the last time you actually had your agent go over this with you?
Yeah, probably when I bought the insurance. So it's probably been a couple years.
Oh no. Okay. Well, no worries. I'm gonna fix that for you today. You know, you might have some gaps or some holes in your coverages that you might not be well aware of. So let me go see what you currently have. See here that you're currently with Progressive, and that you have the 50,000, 100,000, 25,000 limits. The 50,000 would pay out per person. For bodily injury, the 100,000 would pay out for the entire occurrence. So if there was 3 people, if there was 4, 100,000 is the max. The property damage is about 25,000. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really like that that limit. It's not. I guess I shouldn't go into more detail with that. I don't really like that limit because a few months ago we actually had a client that was in a pile up on 270, and he was at fault for about 4 vehicles that he had hit.
Oh, wow.
And it paid out about $75,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you know that's a lot of money. The newer cars these days cost a lot of money. So had our insured actually had your limits, he would have been out of pocket about $50,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about your finances, but $50,000 is a lot of money, and we wouldn't want anyone to be on the hook for that.
Yeah.
So with your current coverages, what are you currently
being charged?
Yeah, is that what I'm going into then?
Yep.
Why do I have the reason why I'm like, okay, exit out that. And had our customer had your limits, who would have been on the hook for about $50,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I don't know about your finances. That is a lot of money. Blah 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 blah. With your current coverages with Progressive, what are they currently charging you?
Let me look. Hold on. They are charging me $96.71 a month.
Okay. Well, with us over here, we have the 50, 100,000 for bodily injury. I went ahead and I tripled your property damage to about 100,000, so about 75,000 more in coverage than you currently have.
Good.
And with the $500 deductibles that you have with Progressive as well, and we're only coming in about $97 a month, about a 30 cent difference each month.
Don't talk about that.
Okay. Sure. What should I say?
You simply say the price, and you go for your
coming in at $97.
We're coming in at this dollar amount, and that's the kind of coverages you're looking for. Yeah, Sejla, that is the kind of coverages I'm looking for. Yeah.
I don't know why I overthink everything.
Now here's the next thing.
Spit it out.
I want you to think about this. What are you gonna do if they say yes?
Freak out. No, I'm not. Yes, Chris, you're right.
No, you're gonna say, all right. Well, you know what? We're a full service agency.
Right. I do go into that.
You know your spiel from that point on, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think you're ready. I've taken too much of your time already.
I'm gonna get this,
Sejla,
gonna get it.
I know you're gonna get it.
I'm just like, I feel like with something new,
and when
I don't really
when
know.
your name's on the leaderboard for this, that, and the other, we're gonna be able to pull these
now
little
I know
YouTube
how to
videos.
sell value. Yay!
That's right. All right.
Thanks,
Hit me.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
I'm gonna go try it now.
Time to go try it.